Hey guys, Dr. Viv here and welcome. Today I want to talk quickly about dealing with depression. Now I have made it no secret that I had some years back suffered an episode of depression after going through quite a traumatic experience. I'm not wanting to focus on that, but as many of you know, I have a book called Shadows in the Mirror, The Many Faces of Depression, where I have already gone into deep details about depression and how it impacted me. Today, I want to talk quickly about a few tips to help people in depression. Now, depression is a huge issue. Thankfully, I am so excited these days that people are beginning to talk about it more and make mental health and well-being more of a talked about issue, because by 2020 is likely going to be the most crippling of illnesses and greatest contributor to death and suicides, as predicted by the World Health Organization. And as you know, this is 2018, so we're not far off. And unless we begin to talk about and take measures and implement strategies and get people more comfortable with sharing about how they feel and, seeking help, we've got a major crisis on our hands. Because mental health, depression, are issues that people get scared of talking about. And I tell you, people struggle. You'll be amazed. I have been personally amazed by people who have walked up to me, talked to me or opened up to me about struggles they are having. It's amazing. Anybody can be affected, and you will be shocked about those who are affected. But you get to know and have opportunities to help people around you and probably yourself by opening up your mind and your heart to people and being open-minded, because it could hit you. Trust me, I knew nothing about depression. I thought when you say you're depressed, that it meant being sad. And what an eye-opener my experience was for me. One thing I want to clarify as I proceed is that depression, as I just said, is not just being sad. It is not the I'm sad, I'm sad, I'm sad. We all get sad moments. I have sad low moments in my room. We all get those. No. What I'm talking about and what depression is where there is consistent feelings of sadness, feelings of worthlessness, feelings of helplessness, feelings of withdrawals, and as we know, people go into alcoholism to try and cover up their depression, and vice versa. Depression can also lead to alcoholism, or alcoholism to depression. Feelings of worthlessness. People start to get aggressive, more aggressive than they once were, trying to cover up or deal with, this feelings of guilt and worthlessness, hopelessness, sadness. Sadness is a big one. It's a constant. While all the other symptoms can be mixed in there, and it could vary from person to person. But where you're having those consistent symptoms, especially prolonged sadness for over 2 weeks, then we've got a problem. And so where I am right now is in saying we can nip it in the bud where possible. So perhaps you are someone out there who you notice yourself feeling low right now. You can help yourself. You're consistently sad. You don't want people to notice it. Perhaps you are someone who was once jovial, but now you're withdrawn. You don't want to talk to people, and it is going on for a long period of time. Maybe you're constantly feeling helpless. You can help yourself. And life is tough. Life is tough. You're feeling consistently helpless. Guilt-stricken, things like that. Before it gets any worse, one, I want you to talk to someone. That you can admit it is a sign of strength, it's not weakness. because that is something some people are often scared of. It's not weakness. It takes a lot of guts to step up and say, I need help. And so what I'm challenging you today is to say you are not alone. You'll be shocked how many people there are suffering the same thing you're suffering. I have been there, and so have many other people in the world, many popular people in the world. You hear of Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. He's told his story. Read about Mel Robbins. Classic examples. Many people are suffering and have suffered this. So you are not in the minority at all. I need you to get up and seek help. Talk to your GP, get some counseling, get therapy, or talk to a trusted friend. The thing sometimes with just talking to random people is not being sure someone will not say the wrong thing. And this is where I'm like, people need to get more open-minded and educated around mental health, because if you're not careful and someone opens up to you and you say the wrong thing, you can cause a bigger mess. So please, 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 the internet is your friend. Google, how do I support someone? Let me take a back step there. If you don't know the right things to say, or if you're not sure how to help someone going through depression or anxiety and things like that, Google is your friend, your quickest friend. Please get educated. Don't find yourself telling someone to snap out of it. Don't tell someone, oh, I thought you were better than this. Like, those are all negative words that only feel the negativism that come involuntarily with the things like depression. Please Google, how can I support or help someone going through this? So coming back to those who need support, like I said, if you find yourself going through depression and you can begin to recognize one or two of the signs, it's always better to nip it in the bud earlier than later, because the more progressive it gets, the tougher it becomes and the more painful. Please go out there, seek help, speak to someone, vent off, like where you can, please do vent off. Secondly, I would say is try to stay with people, try to be around people, try to do something that you love, because the danger I have experienced, as I experienced in my time as well, is that you lose interest with, things that you once loved. This is also a symptom, So let us try and nip it in the bud where possible, as early as possible, by breaking that off and finding something that you love, finding a new hobby, picking up activity, it will help. Third thing, I think that's a third. Yeah, third thing as well is to begin to get exercise. Science has shown that exercise helps. It helps to, build your mental stability and, build your mental strength, and helps with all the chemicals in your brain. So please find some exercise regime around you. If you can't find the motivation, like I'm bad sometimes. I've had to get a personal trainer. So if you're out there, you can afford a personal trainer, then please do that, or join with a couple of friends. Go for walks. Even if you can't do crazy exercise, like, you don't have the time, even 10 minutes of going for walks, like getting some fresh air, oh gosh, it does you a wealth of good. There are times I have walked for an hour, and there were times that I was already getting tired out, or I felt like, oh gosh, my head is all fogged up and I just want to go home and stay in and not talk to anyone. And I just realized that just by even just walking, it just clears the head. I just keep on walking, it just clears the head. So even those walks can do a wealth of good for you. And talk. This is the fourth one. Talk. Like, talking helps. The worst thing that anybody can do is internalize things. Depression already makes you feel lonely. It makes you, feel alone, like nobody understands. And sometimes maybe people around you don't understand. But I want to encourage you to just find someone to talk to. I know I already talked about therapy and counseling, but that's seeking professional help. But maybe you're going through something really tough, and depression can be caused by so many things. And one trigger is often a bad experience, or something traumatic, someone losing a job, someone going through a divorce. These are all triggers for depression. Someone being bullied, someone being financial issues. These are all triggers for depression. And I'm saying, please, 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 don't internalize that pain. They may not be able to solve all of your problems, but there is a saying that a problem half shared is a problem half solved. Because sometimes just venting off. There are times that I don't even have someone to talk to. What I do is I get a pen and a paper, I have a book, and I write out how I feel, as raw as I feel. And I realize that by the time I've gotten it out, I may even cry writing them out. By the time it's out, it has a way of just relieving you. I went into depression at the time after going through a traumatic experience and internalizing things. And I know the danger of internalizing, so please don't internalize. And then the fifth thing I want to say is, in many cases, sometimes people need medication to support them. Many people are not comfortable with taking medication for their depression, and this is why I say, let us try and nip it in the bud as early as possible, because not all cases of depression or anxiety need medication. But the longer it progresses, then you may need medication to support. It's not a bad thing to take medication. Let me just throw this out there. If you need medication, please take it for as long as you need it. But then, it's not just medication. You need the medication and therapy. There is established science that says that depression is best treated with a combination of medication and therapy. It's not just about just taking the medication and then just boom, 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 taking it in there. No, it's got to be balanced. We've got to get down to the root cause of the triggers of the depression and get down to the root cause of helping with coping mechanisms around getting you back on your feet. That is where therapy is such a big help. Like, I remember when I was younger, I used to see people on the couch talking with a shrink. Yes, if you've got to talk with a shrink, whatever it is, so long as it saves your life, do it. It is okay. It doesn't make you a weak person. It makes you strong. You will rather be functioning than trying to struggle and say you are perfect when you are not really functioning, and one day, boom, you crack. I encourage you to do what is needed for yourself, not about anybody else. And no one else needs to know if you are on medication or not. It's for a period of time. I remember I was on medication for a short period of time at the time, and I took it for as long as I needed. I have not been on any medication for years. 4 years. I needed medication for less than a year at the time. And because I was religious with it and learned what was needed, and thankfully my book, working on my book at the time, gave me insight to the power of medication and what it can do. Because at some time, just stop listening to people telling me, you put on weight, this medication is making you put on weight, get it off, what is wrong with you, and why your medication, you need to trust God in. Oh gosh, I had to shut people out for my own survival. And because I many times I just thank God that I got the insight to write the book, because it made me then go and read about these things, and insight is powerful. And so I became religious and I stuck to it, and I got myself back. I repeat, do what is necessary to help you function and to get back on your feet. The earlier you nip it in the bud, the better for you. Don't internalize things. Talk to someone. If there's no one to talk to, get out a piece of paper and a pen and write your feelings out. Write your thoughts. Write those negativities out. Like, it does a big favor for you. It helps. Talk to someone. Seek therapy. Seek the counseling. There is no shame in it. If the doctor says you've got to stay on something, stay on it. If you go off it earlier than you should, you go down, and then the cycle continues. No, stick to it religiously and you'll be shocked. And get therapy with it, not just the medication. You need therapy with it, and you will see that you could be back on your feet in no time. Friends, that's it for me today. Until next time, stay well, take care, and God bless.